Hey guys, it's Simon and welcome to another video. Today, I'm so excited to share these Nuvo shimmer powders with you guys. These are really cool watercolor powders and I love the beautiful effect that they give. However, sometimes I have a hard time controlling them, but I found two different techniques that I'm just absolutely head over heels with. They really amazed me, so let's get into it. For this first one, I'm going to be using an Altenew 3D embossing folder. I love these because they give different depths on your project and they give tons of texture. Today we're going to be kind of stamping with it. So with these embossing folders, you're going to have one side that's more of a raised surface and one side that's a debossed surface, and we're going to be applying our color to the debossed surface today. So because it's kind of this floral design, I'm going to apply my colors to follow this design. So these come in kind of a squeeze top. You don't want to squeeze them because too much powder is going to come out. I just hold them and then really lightly just tap on the bottom, and you can see that a little bit of that powder is coming out and a little bit goes a long way with these, you'll see. And this is where I'm going to start kind of applying colors in different areas. So there's certain parts that are florals in this, and to those I'm just going to apply the powder down and avoid the green leaves. Then going in with a little bit of pink here. And you can see even with this, when you even try to control it like we are today, it still is a little wild, but that's kind of what the magic of these and why they're so much fun. And then like I said, to go in with the area where the leaves are, I'm just going in with a little bit of the green. And again, just really loosely like following where this color would be. It's no like rocket science or anything. If you get some green in the floral areas, it's not gonna matter. Next, I'm gonna apply a little bit of water, and this is where the magic happens. So I'm just gonna take my spray bottle and start spraying this down, and you'll see these kind of start to react. Now, I'm not applying tons of water, just enough to get them kind of start moving a little bit, but there's no real puddles on the surface. Then I'm gonna grab a piece of my Simon Hurley stark white cardstock, and line it up exactly where I want it to be, and you're not gonna move it at all from here. Press that folder down, keep it in place. Then we're back by my machine for a little bit of awkward die cutting. Place this through like you would a normal embossing folder, and then run it right through your machine. All right, and when we lift this off, check it out. It gives you such a cool result, and it's a cool way to get all of that beautiful texture along with it colored in, and it's got some shimmer to it. I don't know if it really picks it up on camera, but in real life, it's just stunning. Now this is the cleaner I use to get into all the little details. It's called the Rubit-Scrubit from Ranger, and it's got a nice spongy surface. So all I do is I just take a little bit of water here since they react nicely with the water. And because there's some grooves, sometimes I found it to be difficult to clean out. But this sponge-like surface just gets right in there and cleans those watercolor powders out, no problem. All right, and that is perfectly clean. I'm telling you guys, that Rubit-Scrubit, I'll have it linked down below. It gets into all the little details on stamps and things too, so it makes it really easy to clean things out. All right, now this next technique using the powders is gonna use a gel press. Now when it comes to different gel presses, I actually happen to love the little shaped gel presses too. So this is the 4-inch round, this is the 3x5. These are gonna work great for cards. Now I recommend having a full-size one, of course, to cover a whole card front. But these are fun to kind of give little spotlights on the cards here and there. These come with plastic on both sides, and I peel one side off, but I keep the other side on so I can use it like a stamp and lift it and move it around pretty easily too. I'm gonna take the warm colors again, use a little bit of pink here. Then I'll go in with yellow, and you can really create this however you want. I'm gonna go for kind of a tie-dye effect, so I'm just adding the color randomly, but you could do it in stripes and sections too, that would be cool. And then to finish it off, just a little bit of red. All right, then I'm going to spray it down with water. We can take it onto our card front, and this is why I like the circle. I'm going to kind of take it and stamp it down halfway on and a little bit off of my project there, and then I'm gonna kind of press it. And this is what I'm talking about where it's super cool with these watercolor powders and the gel press. Because it's see-through, and because the gel press kind of holds on to that powder, it's gonna keep some of those areas where the powder is stuck a little bit more solidly, and then it's gonna kind of wick out where you press it. So it'll kind of blend and move depending on how much you press it. If you press it more, it's gonna mix more, and if you don't press it as much, it's gonna kind of leave some white spaces and give those cool speckles. Then I'm gonna give this some time to sit here and soak into the cardstock before we're able to lift the gel press off. While we're waiting, I wanted to show you the 3x5 plate as well, because this one is really cool for cards too. Give you guys some options. So I'll peel off one of the sides again, and for this one, I'm gonna use some greens, blues, and yellows. So again, I'm going to kind of put the powder down and then some yellow, and now that you guys have seen this, you're gonna know it's kind of nice to have little spots of powder, because they're gonna wick away, but it'll also make it more concentrated in that area. I tried this with a couple other things too, and the unique part of the gel press is because it's kind of that sticky surface, it'll hold on to more of that powder, so it's really great for stamping it down because the powder's not really gonna fall off if you tip it over like that. So I'm gonna go in again with my water and spray it down. You don't wanna do like a ton of spray, just enough to get the color moving a little bit like that, no puddles or anything. And this is why I keep one of the sides of acetate on, because I want to see perfectly through my gel plate and use it like a stamp. So I can just kind of press it down, line it up how I want it. And then this is why it's important to be able to see, right? Because if I want to, I could leave it totally as is and leave those little dots, but I'm gonna kind of mix it a little bit there, press down wherever I want it to kind of mix more, and you can see that color moving. You have full control over this, which I think is the coolest part about it, because you're taking a medium that's really questionable in how it's gonna turn out, and you're kind of controlling it because you're able to see perfectly. All right, now we'll switch these, because this one is pretty much completely kind of soaked into the cardstock. And do you guys see that? It is just so stunning. All right, I dried it really quickly because it kind of dries back and shows more of that detail, but look at that cool watercolor effect. I love that we were able to get it in that shape of the circle, which you would usually never be able to get with these watercolor powders. And that sparkle is amazing, but that tie-dye effect is something so unique because the gel press kind of holds on to some of that powder. All right, then we'll go in with the rectangle, and that is fully dried on there, and oh my gosh. It's just so stunning. I think I like this one even better. I added probably less water, so there's more kind of speckled areas and a little bit more tie-dye with how that color blended. To clean this off, I'm just going in with a little bit more water and then a rag to clean it off, and all that mica powder is not gonna stain or anything. It comes off really easily. I'm gonna do something fun and unique with this Paisley stamp. I learned it from my friend Tracy, and I'll link her channel down below. It's so creative to turn this into a butterfly. Taking a little bit of my black ink, and I'm just gonna stamp this center because it's all I need. Give it some good pressure with my pressure tool, and then lift it off. And we've got one of those beautiful centers, and you guys know me, I need my clear embossing powder, so I just like to throw over a layer of clear on top of my black ink. I find that it intensifies it and gives it a finished look. So then I'll heat set this until it's clear and shiny. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. I'm gonna use a piece of my Simon Hurley Create stamping foam, and this is really great to create a mirror image of another stamp. So I'm going to use a pigment ink. Here I'm using VersaFine Clair. It stays wet just a little bit longer than some other black inks, and it really is helpful for this technique. I found it's pretty much needed. So I'm going to take my stamping foam then, no heating, just leave it nice and plain like this, and I'm going to press it into my wet ink, and this is going to transfer that image onto my stamping foam. Cool, eh? And then I'm gonna take that image from my stamping foam and transfer it down onto my cardstock, giving it good pressure, making sure everything transfers. And there we go, we have a reverse image. Now, sure, it's not as crisp and clear, but if you need something like this to do this sort of technique, I recommend trying out the stamping foam. And then same thing here, I like to go over, and it still takes the clear heat embossing perfect. All right, you guys, now I'm gonna use the pigment powder exactly how it's supposed to use to color these in and share with you guys that too. I know some people don't really love to color in images, so this is a really easy way to get some color down onto your cardstock. So I've added some yellow down, I'm going in with a little bit of blue, and then I thought purple would be a nice color to complement it as well. So I'll add the purple right down on the edge. Now here's where the magic happens. I'm gonna take my spray bottle and spray these guys down, and it gives such a beautiful effect where it just bursts that color out. You can see all of those amazing pigments coming out of there. If it got a little bit too dark in some areas, you can always lighten it up with your rag, but look at that. I'll just go in with my Ranger heat tool. I'm pretty impatient and I want these to dry a little bit quicker. So this is going to really nicely dry these. I like how quiet it is, but it gets super hot still. I forgot just how cool those are applied directly to your cardstock. They give such a beautiful shimmer and color to the surface so easily. And then I'll go in and just cut right around the wings, and I just leave a little tiny bit of a border. And I really like these Fiskars Spring Assist scissors for cutting these out. They don't tire out my hands because they spring back out at you, so it makes it really easy. And also it's got a nice fine point so you can get into the small little details of these images. All right, now when we get to the top here, I'm just going to continue going around and just cut this top part off. I want 2 wings and not the 3. I know in Tracy's video, she used the 3rd one and kind of layered it in between. So if you want to do that, you totally could too, but I'm just fine with these 2 wings. All right, then out of a scrap of just black cardstock, I'm just gonna go in and create the kind of center of the butterfly, an elongated oval shape. All right, so I've kind of curved the wings up like this, and I like this background to give it kind of a grounding point to one side of the card, and we're gonna adhere it down right here. So I'm just gonna happen to use a little bit of tape runner right in the center there, add lots of it to make sure it's gonna be nice and stuck, and then we can kind of plan where we want it to be. I want it a little bit more to the left to be grounded on that colorful background, so I think right there is a great spot. Same thing on this one. I'm still shocked at how beautiful that reverse image turned out with the stamping foam. Love it. We'll apply that wing down. All right, how beautiful is that butterfly? I love the shimmer powder that's on it and how easy it was to mirror that image. And again, I wouldn't have been able to do it without Tracy's amazing inspiration. You guys, I have been using this new set a ton. It's called Sketch Florals, but the sentiments in it are some of my absolute favorites. These handwritten sentiments are fun, but I also just dig the bold sentiments so much. And I'm gonna use the You Are Beautiful because that butterfly is pretty beautiful. I'll stamp it down with a little bit of my black ink, and yeah, that is just a beautiful, bold sentiment. And without even a question, we'll throw over another layer of clear embossing powder to finish it off. And that completes this card. I love this butterfly and also that tie-dye background with the gel press and the watercolor powders and really controlling it. Just creates such a stunning look. All right, now with this background, you could totally keep all of these kind of little outside splatters, but I'm gonna do something a little weird. I want this card to be a little bit more clean and simple. I love all the amazing color that we added with those powders, but I'm gonna go in and cut right around the embossing folder design. So just going around it, here I'm leaving a little bit of a larger border, so not a big deal to just have to go around here and quickly cut in between all of these. I've added some foam tape to the back to make it pop up, and once I've cut it out, I'm able to easily align it to this edge and then line it up on our card. I love how adding the colorful florals now onto a clean background makes it stand out and pop so much more. So it was worth those couple extra minutes to cut it out. I love that the bold sentiment really offsets the kind of whimsy floral that it is, and it really gives it a beautiful balance. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know which card was your favorite. I always love to hear from you guys down there. And also there's a full supplies list linked down below, everything that I used in today's video, and those links help support me, so I really appreciate you guys using them. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys again in a future video. Bye!